Hello everybody, this is Liriodendron tulipifera of the Magnoliaceae, which is the magnolia family. This is yellow poplar, tulip tree, or tulip poplar. There's a few ways to identify, which we'll get into it right now. So as you can see behind me here, the bark is kind of furrowed. It has these ridges and valleys kind of going into and out of the bark, and it's important to note that the ridges are flat on the top. It kind of forms a very distinctive bark that you'll start to get an eye for, and you'll be able to see it from about a mile away. You'll notice it's this whitish color, sometimes a little yellow in color as well, or a light brown, but again, once you start getting an eye for it, this is not a tree you should miss. The form of the tree, it's very tall and straight. Some people call it a hardwood pine, just in the sense that it likes to grow very tall and straight without many defects. It's very competitive for sunlight, and you'll see it it's another pioneer species. So the leaves, they're very characteristic. Here I have a branch with me. They're simple, alternate, and they have this kind of cat's face shape. So you can see this. Some people say it looks like a tulip as well. But this symmetrical leaf, they form folded in the spring, but this leaf is symmetrical, it's very broad, and it's not one that you should miss. We're not really going to learn anything else that has this similar shape. So it's important to kind of get this to memory as yellow poplar, or tulip tree. I should note about the twig, sometimes you'll find stipules here, and that's this leafy green structure, and they always come in pairs at the base of the leaves. This is characteristic of the Magnoliaceae as well as other families, and when they fall off you'll get these encirculating stipular scars, so it's like a ring around where the leaf connects, and that's also characteristic of the Magnoliaceae. Other plants we learned this semester is going to have that same characteristic. Looking at the terminal bud, which is what dictates where new growth will form, likely the next year. This genetic material is protected by two valvate scales, valvate meaning two scales on either side that just kind of come together to protect it. So these are all very good characteristics if you don't even have the leaf to look at yellow poplar. So in terms of fruit and flowers, the flowers form early spring, and the fruit set in fall. So the flowers are very showy. They're usually a bright yellow, sometimes with speckles of orange. You'll notice them in large numbers at the tops of mature trees. The fruit is an aggregate of samara. So aggregate meaning clumped together, samara meaning a winged seed. And it has a very distinct J-shaped hook almost to where it connects to the fruiting structure. Other samaras that we're going to learn this semester, such as in the ashes and the maples, it's very different from that. So hopefully you can get an eye for it, because again, this is something distinct that you should immediately go, that's right to yellow poplar, that characteristic. And another thing about the seeds, it produces many seeds in 1 year, and that's thought to be a kind of quantity over quality thing. About 10% of the seeds are viable. So the theory is that it's producing as many seeds as it can, it's spreading them out as far as it can, and just in the hopes that some of them will make it, and likely many will not. So this has been yellow poplar, or tulip tree, Liriodendron tulipifera.